coming from the outside, right? Somebody who's not in finance, a military officer who's thinking about what to do next. I think that the public view of finance in the trading world really kind of centers around the retail side, right? So you think about being a broker, right? Which is effectively you're in sales, right? And what you do, and I would imagine a lot of the guys that you're associated with in the chapter is really, it's on the back end, right? You guys are on the trading screens. You're doing something that's really fundamentally different, from the guy out there selling mutual funds or ETFs or what have you, right? So can you talk a little bit about, I think we all understand how military experience can kind of translate into sales, right? Like you relate to people, you solve problems and all the rest of it, right? But can you talk a little bit about how the experience that a vet carries out of the service, especially an officer carries out of the service, how does that translate to the trading floor? Like, did it give you any kind of an advantage?
I think it's irrelevant whether you're an officer or enlisted. I think it's more the skills that you gain in the military, right? I think it's your tenacity, your ability to work in teams, your problem-solving abilities, kind of the message to Garcia. I had an MBA from a.
You might want to explain that to our Army brothers here, man.
No, I think they know what message to Garcia is. They're not dragging their knuckles that much. I think the value of veteran is kind of almost, I want to say it's intangible, but it's visible, right? For example, when I started in this job, I had no idea what a CDS was, right? A credit default swap, right? Everyone's seen that movie that from 2008. What's it called? The Big Short. That's what I trade. And everyone, it has a very negative connotation to it. And I'm like, well, you're not educated on the product, but I started on the desk, and within 6 months, I was actively trading and market making. And, behind me was a guy who was a trader who had been on the desk for 2 years and still was fetching coffee and not trading. And I think the difference is, first of all, I was older. I was tenacious. Every time my boss was getting up to go to the restroom, I was like, hey, boss, I could do this for the next 2 minutes while you come back. Like, let me try it for 2 minutes. What could go wrong in 2 minutes? A lot could go wrong in 2 minutes, by the way, in fast-moving markets. But thankfully, it never happened. Once I knew that I was going to be a CDS trader, I picked up the technical manuals, and I was like, okay, I'm going to become a master of my trade. I need to know this product inside and out, because when people ask me questions, I want to say, hey, this is how it works. And in less than 6 months, I was the guy. And it was just because I proved to them that, hey, I knew the product. I was able to back my boss up. And those things were they're not used to a young person coming onto the trading floor with that attitude. And I think
you're willing to take the watch.
It's like, yeah, man, like train your relief, and by the way, training your relief is not something that you see in corporate America. And when you are seeking someone to replace and mentoring the young below you, people respect that. I have a lot of young, traders and salespeople on the trading floor that come to me for advice because they know I'm always there to mentor them. Like today, my junior trader was like, hey, can we go grab lunch together? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's go for a quick walk. And he had just career questions that he wanted to discuss. And, he didn't feel comfortable going to our boss, but he wanted it from me, knowing that I'm someone that is trustworthy and I've been doing it right. I've been doing well. So he kind of wants to go down that path.